Well, top to the morning to you all. Happy goddamn Monday, and happy Memorial Day to all of you. Holy shit. Holy crap. Now, again, I did just swear, and I'm honest about it. I'm able to correct that. But I will say I would be lying to you all if I was not writing, if I told you that I did not like The Punisher. I do like The Punisher. But I thought today, actually, right now, my mission, my task for today, since I took my medicine and I did, and this is truthful, this is honesty, but I, I have time to do this live, and then I will have to end and go and do other things. So, as I said, the domesticated chores, as many people state, is do what you're expected to first, and then go and enjoy something you want to do. And as I said, my parents are both sleeping right now, but I can still go out. And I'm actually right now going to go out and check. So I'm not lying, but I'm going to go out and check to make sure that the recyclables are done, the trash is taken out. So I will be back. And then I'll come back on, meaning I'm not ending, but um but yeah, I don't, if you guys, I can't really post anything here now, but I'm gonna go make sure I didn't miss anything, and I'll come back in. Hey guys, so I'm back. I just went out and rinsed out some bottles, but they that was it. And I did check the trash; it wasn't full. Um, we try to make sure that it's not overly full. Then it becomes a problem, but we do it often in our recyclable bin too. So, but I thought of something extremely awesome, but and actually I don't have my. That's another thing I have to go get. Okie doke, guys. Um, Okie dokie. Okie dokie. There we go. Um, so I thought of this really cool idea of writing down. So I've got three main thumbnails that I will. So these might end up being a cover for my YouTube, meaning I don't have a profile picture yet set, or I might have them as like an ending like thumbnail, meaning like when those that after watch my video will be able to view the picture. But I thought it'd be really cool, so kind of like how Kathleen does with her knitting thing. She draws something from a jar of projects that she might be starting, so kind of like a drawing something. I thought I would do something similar but unrelated to knitting, where I would take requests from people, but starting, I will say, the first three thumbnails I will be doing um have to do with. So I'm gonna pick two categories. Okay, so for me, it would be, because we all know when we act on a behavior, it can either be good or it can be bad. And if, as I said, everybody knows what something is, so in this case, having a noun within this thumbnail. So, for example, right, I could make a thumbnail where it could be more than, it could be a person. I will say, whatever you want to put on a thumbnail, we're going to focus on on real life behavior through thumbnails. I need to find grace. And yes, people can find grace other ways than just having a YouTube channel. I don't care so much of the views within these thumbnails, but I also care about what it's like to respect somebody, and what the thing is, what are behaviors that are allowed and what are not allowed. What are things within those behaviors that are considerable okay to have and that are not considerable to have. And one of those things I learned over time in my life, but really, I will state though, this this topic that I am going to talk about is probably the first. So this is the verb, the action word that I'm going to be using with the thumbnail. But it is I'm going to be using the verb lying. Now, lying is a verb, it's an action. It's when you're giving somebody false information. The more times you lie to somebody, the less they are going to trust what you say, what you have to say, in the and they get sick of it, they will leave, they will walk away. But knowing, I mean, I'm if I decide to talk about this, I'm putting this video on the private. I'm not going to put it through public. Um but I will state that lying is never okay. I mean, lying, lying to somebody is never okay. But another I will say thing about lying is that people will lie to get out of abusive situations. And I will explain this as and this is not related to me because I've never had abuse, meaning nobody has ever smacked me across the head or took a frickin' belt or anything like that. And I want to talk about this. As I said, I'm going to put this video on private. It's not going to the public because the public does not need to know about what I'm going to say. But again, we all know it, that lying can be a defense mechanism as far as getting beat, as far as a parent, a family member beating you. But the thing is, when you know you're going to get beat, when you know when you're going to get brutally hit, nobody should be hitting people, nobody should be acting violent. And I stand for those who come to the resort of having to lie because they don't want to get anything delivered fatally. Now again, if you make a mistake or you do something by an accident, My dad, if he was in here, I mean, he told me something after I got off the phone with my significant other. He told me about, and I don't focus on his past because I wasn't around at that time, but I know now that lying is never okay to do verbally to somebody. As I said, it's not even verbal. It's something that somebody asks you to do, and you're lying to them and you state to them that you did it. But all they have to do is look and state that no, you didn't do it. Because they're going to see and they're going to know. And I will say, we all lie. No one is ever innocent and not lying. There's people that try harder than others when it comes to lying. It is not a behavior that you would want in your life, as far as you would want growing up, going into adulthood. Because I've often heard people state lying can be childish, which it can be on all standpoints. But I often think of bad behaviors, and one of the many things people I feel like are still learning about me is when I change my behavior from bad to good, but I'm able to use humor to make sure people understand that they know who I am, and they know from bad attentions that I know when to correct them. If you don't know how to correct your behavior, people aren't good, or you don't. If you refuse, people are not. They're less likely to keep in contact with you, to keep the communication and their what is it, their connection with you alive. But my dad, I will say there were some things he definitely deserved punishment for, as he was honest with me and stated. But when you are at home and like, since my dad grew up with three other siblings in his household, he had two sisters and a brother. My dad even stated to me he got the worst of it all. But Teresa, it took my grandfather a while to see through my grandmother of how she was treating my dad. But my dad would be upset because my grandfather also drank a lot. Not knowing of what was going on. But then realizing my my grandmother was she was a horrible person. And my aunt Teresa and my dad, I feel like symbolize that you can get through things in your life lying, but also situations that feel that you feel that are physically painful and physically restraining. They both will teach anybody, if they were in this room right now, about how lying can be, it is a behavior that should never be tolerated, but yet people use it as an escape for abuse because they don't want to get a brutal beating. Now, again, my dad was not at all stating to me, oh, it was all abuse. He said, I fucked up too. Some of those beatings I deserved were legit. But when you don't mean to do something, or you do something by accident, but Teresa was very supportive to my dad, and she saw what my grandmother did to my dad. And I've never gotten that treatment as a child, and I don't expect to pass it on to anyone who really, like, if I have kids of my own, which would be a good example, I will not be passing that on to them at all. I will be direct, and I will be, if they do have bad behavior, I'm gonna state you're not getting it. If you can't be nice and you can't behave the right way, this is what you're gonna do, and this is what you're gonna follow. You will get your chance to decide what you want to do when that time is right. But I thought I would do, so the three thumbnails I'm going to be doing is one where I love animals, and I think three of these are going to be related to people and animals, but the category, I feel like, so nouns are a person, place, or a thing. Adjectives are a describing word, and verbs are an action word. So in this case, I thought for the first thumbnail I would do something where I may not use my daughter's picture for this. I think I might, but it may not. No, I'm going to use her picture. But I'm going to do a thumbnail of her getting pulled over on the side of the road. And again, that's the thing, is people, I will say, when they go through things like that, they want to feel better with their lives, and it can result into bad habits, smoking, walking away from the beatings, the physical harm. But I as I said, I will do these thumbnails. One of them being my daughter. I don't know what outfit she's gonna wear. I'm gonna hopefully cut out a. I mean, Toby Keith. He was a sucker for a, like his whole like car collection was crazy. But this is gonna be like an ultimate creation of it's gonna be what is it? It's gonna be, and the thing is, when you think of a place, you want to think of like a place there's like an open highway where like people often speed down the highway. So, and I'm gonna go all out unique, but let's look up Toby Keith cars. Car collection right here. All right, so I will say the Chevy Impalas are really cool cars. Um, the this is a 1963 Chevy Impala Toby Keith had. So what I thought is we'll write down some of the, because when we plan out a thumbnail, we want to make sure we write what we want within the thumbnail. So we'll start mapping out what we want, but also the background, because a thumbnail, it comes to life within the background. Which, as I said, I'm trying to think of a really good highway that people often get pulled over by going too fast. I feel like anywhere in like, maybe like somewhere like oh shit. Like a desert, like where there's like pavement, but there's also like desert, like almost like Arizona, maybe Texas, where there's like, like you're out in the middle of nowhere. So we've got so far for so we got our nouns. So we'll just put these categorize. So we won't put nouns. We'll put actually we'll put nouns to simplify everything. Nouns. But our main focus is, so as long as we stay under the ballpark of, because we have our verb is already locked in, it's going to be lying, so we don't need any more verbs. So we'll put locked word, or locked theme would be a better term. Lying. So nouns. We'll, as I said, we'll choose the, I mean, I kind of want to get my daughter's taste, but I feel like if it's anything to do with Toby Keith, she's going to freak out like a little fangirl or fan kitty. And I plan to do much more of a neater job on this thumbnail than the one I made for actually Willow as well on her birthday. All right, so we've got the 19, so that's going to be our vehicle in the thumbnail. So let's think of, okay, and then we'll put noun as, I'll put myself. I'll put Tom, Willow, Catnip, but we're going to use the catnip in the thumbnail as usually when people are caught either under the influence or the police have to search a vehicle, especially if they're smelling drugs, something illegal in the vehicle. A lot of the sometimes all they have to do is lift up the trunk or wherever somebody is sitting or wherever in the car the smell is being, typically it's a strong drug. It could be weed, it could be a crap ton of weed actually. But we're gonna blank all that out and use catnip, because catnip has just a similar effect to what drugs have with people. You get high on it, because but the key word is high, getting high. And I feel like people behave differently when they're high. But I feel like felines, when they get high off of catnip, they can either go insanely crazy or they happen to get the zoomies or are feeling very like happy high, meaning like they're in their own world. So we've got I'm gonna have to ask my buddy Andrew about it, but I feel like if this is gonna be the case, we need to have an officer, whether we choose to have a sergeant, a what do you call I would say Andrew would be a sergeant. I feel oh yeah. I mean the thing is he was pilot on an airplane. Drill sergeant materially, I can see it. So I think we'll go actually and I'll have to ask Andrew this. I'll text him. He's probably not even up, but Sergeant MacGyver. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about how funny that would be in like a video. Andrew pulls us over and he's like I stopped you here because I can smell catnip in your car. And like Willow's in the driver's seat and she's looking up at Andrew and Andrew's like well I'm gonna have to give you a citation because you've got a lot of grams of catnip in there. Um, and I feel like Willow would just stomp on the gas and just vroom. And I'm next to Willow, right? And I'm very like scared that she's gonna crash into something. And I'm kind of mumbling to myself in the Chevy Impala, Willow, you need to cut back on that catnip. You're gonna go off the road. I feel like though she'd be like, "Do you want me to dig my nails into your jeans, Daddy? Let me drive." So 1963 Chevy Impala. Got Tom, we got Willow, got Catnip, Sergeant MacGyver. Um, and now we just need to pick a really good hot. As I said, let's do like the middle. What are here? Let's look up some places that are like out of nowhere. Right, I know the definition, but out of nowhere. Places. All right. So, I mean, there's the Dry Tortugas National Park, which is in Florida, but it is so you can only it's only reachable by a seaplane or a long ferry ride. Um, it features pristine insulated beaches and the massive 19th century Fort Jefferson. Coyote Gulch, Utah, a stunning red rock canyon oasis reachable via the hole in the rock road in the Escalante region. It takes rigorous route finding and hiking to find the towering arches and waterfalls hidden in the canyon depths. There's the ice caves, the Opstal Islands ice caves in Wisconsin. Lord Howe, Lord Howe Island, which is in Australia. The Moses Bridge, which is in the Netherlands. But it's a clever sunken bridge built into a fortress moat. Effectively parts the water and hides the bridge and its pedestrians in plain sight. I've got it's hard to choose. I mean, if we're talking about a road, because really, I mean, we're looking for a road somewhere where Andrew can pull Willow over. So we might have to go with the Coyote Glutch because it's via the hole in the rock road. So it's an oasis. So it's kind of like a desert. Let's look. Let's look at a picture of it. Coyote Glutch. Oh yeah, this looks really cool. Wow, that's beautiful. But it is surrounded by water. But ooh, wait. This is so like random though. We're just like Willow's just driving in the Chevy Impala. We're going down like somewhere because it looks to me like, I mean, let's fully, so let's look to see if there's a Coyote Gulch trail trailhead. There we go. Ooh, let's do the. So this is, so it's located 30 miles down the hole in the rock road. So this on a side road. So we could do like a side road. But I don't think it's as good though as like it provides a 31 one-way route into the Glutch. Let's just look. Um. Let's look up out of nowhere highways. There we go. Nowhere highways. Yeah, I know. Baltimore's highway to nowhere. So we have choices here. We've got, so these are the most famous highways. But we have Baltimore's highway to nowhere, the abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike, the Gravina Island Highway, which is in Alaska. We have Route 11, Salem, Connecticut. But you know what's really cool? Let's look up a video. So I'm gonna turn my volume down on my phone so we don't get a copyright thing or bullshit. So we're gonna watch this actually muted. So, but this is America's 10 widest highways to nowhere. So the thing is, a lot of highways are, or a lot of nowhere, roads and things like that are driven through. I mean, it has to do with construction. First up, we have an old section of Ridge Road in the Tahan Pass of Southern California, not far from Fort Tahan. That's a possible. So maybe I'll use shit. So we can yeah, we can do this. Um we can like kind of list and sketch out, or really just list. We'll list out the names of these highways. So first up, this one does look cool because I mean you can kind of see the what is it, the structure of it, but there's a lot of. So yeah, there's the highway, but this is the one in California. This is more of a diagram of it, but it's. Yeah, so there's a lot of curves in the tortuously windy section of Mountain Road. So curves, I feel like we're looking for a highway that's got curves. Because, I mean, we have a feline driving who's incredibly high, and she may not know how to turn curves, so she might end up crashing the vehicle. Poor Toby Keith. I think Toby Keith would have something to say about it if a cat crashed his own 1963 Chevy Impala. He wouldn't be very too happy with a cat. But but it's called Dead Man's Curve. Actually, this might be the one, but they nicknamed our road or highway Dead Man's Curve. But when you go around that curve, a lot of accidents happen. So this could be the one. But it's on. So let's go with Taha. What is it? Dead Man's Curve. All right, so we've got the highway we're going to use for this thumbnail. Um, I feel like the Dead Man's Curve is a perfect highway for this because I feel like, out of honesty, I let my daughter out and she hid the catnip in the trunk, and I thought it was just a midnight drive, or I thought it was just a casual drive, father and daughter bonding time. Basically, I took her out of Happy Cats and took her out for a drive. Actually, you know what? I could make multiple thumb if I have more to say and more to add, I could make multiple thumbnails of this. So, let's continue on with this one. This is good. So, what if we were to have, like, before this all goes, Willow and I had a designated location to go, meaning that we were headed somewhere. It might not have been to I mean, is there actually is there any good, like, I mean, if we wanted to stick with the California idea, Hang on. I have a genius idea. California. Okay, how? All right, he played prominent. All right. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so I thought of an idea. So as I said, we have the place where Willow gets pulled over by Sergeant MacGyver, but we need to have a place of where we end off. Meaning, where's our target place to go to travel to? Where's the actually we have the place as I said where Andrew's pulling us over because Daddy didn't empty the car trunk. But here's a good so I looked up if Toby Keith has played in California because this I wanted to stick to the state of California, but he's played quite a few I mean a lot of shows there. But his more recent one was back in 2017. Wait, ultimately But yeah, so yeah, 2017 was his last show, even though he was originally scheduled to headline the California Radio Salinas kickoff concert in 2020 and 22. Those dates were canceled due to the pandemic and his subsequent health battles. So yeah, his last show was in Flossom, um, back in 2017, but he performed a surprise live show at his own grill at his restaurant location, Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill. But this is the one I'm going to use because I thought I could add like a spin on this. But he also played, so in 2012 and 2014 he played the San Manuel Amphitheater, but he played prominent shows at this Devore, California. So it's a venue, but he filmed his music video for I Like Girls That Drink Beer there. So he had filmed that music video at this venue. But I thought I would add the twist stating I like felines that drink beer. So I think that is the one we use. But we're sticking to lying. So Willow's denying that she was the one that put the catnip in the trunk, and I'm the one that says to Sergeant Angel, I don't get high. All right, so we've got the CL Amphitheater. All right, I think we're definitely looking good. Verb is lying, and then that's right. We need to still. All right, let's start the creation process. So I'm gonna end you guys. I'm gonna end the live. Those of you that, because I've been on for an hour, but I'm gonna work on the thumbnail right now. I'm gonna get it done, show you all the finished product, but I'll be saving it to my phone. But I also will be uploading it. So before I even go live, again, I will be uploading the thumbnail on my YouTube channel. But you're gonna see what I have listed here is gonna be in that thumbnail. And I'm going to engineer it as I'm in the passenger seat in the 1963 Chevy Impala owned by Toby Keith. Willow's going to be on the wheel. Hopefully I can have it so, like, even if that's really not like a, ooh, maybe instead of a trunk, because it'd be hard, maybe like have a briefcase of catnip or something, or shoot. Actually, no, 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 no. We're going to a Toby Keith show. So, okay, I know what we're gonna do. But to make everybody's day, I thought I would do this really cool thing. Um, Putting things together and coming up with a big project, or really, I would say more of a minimum, maybe small to medium sized I mean, I could add on to it and make it, as I said, a full length story. So really, not just have a thumbnail, but a whole section of stories, almost like a comic book strip or a comic book digitally. I would say not much, that maybe like a video, um, but starting out with a thumbnail, but kind of, doing multiple thumbnails to make this look alive. Um, but 1963 Chevy Impala, Tom Wilkins. Perfect. Um, but I'm trying to think if I can find a way to change the color of the Chevy Impala, because I do want to use Toby Keith's Chevy Impala. But again, I want to use like colors for Willow as well. I think I've got an idea made up. We may erase that idea of using the specific 1963 Chevy Impala, which I don't doubt there is not. If you were to, let's do it now. 19. Yeah, this is a beautiful car. Um, let's do purple and pink. Let's do purple. That's right. In Cars, Ramon was the was a Chevy Impala. I'm pretty sure. So there's the lowrider. We could do a lowrider. Is a holy grail lowrider. While Chevrolet did not offer factory purple paint in 1963, enthusiasts frequently customize these iconic cars with deep metallic, candy apple, or pearl finishes. The candy apple is how sweet my daughter is. That's where the candy apple comes from. Actually, let's use like I'll make two separate them. All right. So we got it. I want to get like an old Chevy Impala. Let's not go with purple. Let's go with Hmm. Okay, we got it. Joe. Wait, is this from Entourage? No. But that show was in California, I think. All right, so we've got the design here that I'm gonna use, but I'm gonna end my live, and you guys will see the finished project product.